The child neglect cases that we still hear about today are absolutely unreal. People always ask me how I've survived my trauma. How did you cope? How are you today? Social services, when I was 7 years old, removed me and my brothers from a house where they was charged for the murder of a girl that they'd tortured for 10 days in that house at the time. And she unfortunately later passed away in hospital. Police came through the door and not one police officer involved in that case or not one social worker ever sat down and said, what happened to them kids then in this house? What did them kids get put through in this house? They weren't interested because them 6 sadistic killers were being charged with the murder of a child. So they weren't interested into what them children within that house had been through, what they'd witnessed, that was their daily lives. 10 days that girl was in that house, but what happened to them children in them 10 days? Why was there not one adult social worker or police officer at that time think, this little girl's 7 years old, she'd have seen, she'd have understood, she'll know vital information as to what's gone on in this home. She'll know what kind of person these people are. 6 sadistic killers around a child. That child's gonna know who they are. But yeah, all them years ago, not one adult spoke up for them children, and due to them not speaking up for them children, they got a murder charge, but they never got a charge for child neglect or any child abuse on them children. The things that we've seen in that house. People say to me, Kelly, how are you even alive today? How have you survived? How do you do you? How do you be you? People are still experiencing this negligence to this day. How is this still happening? I was made to visit that person who was my biggest abuser in life 6 times a year because she had parental rights still. They were never removed because she wasn't charged with child neglect. So therefore, me and my brothers was dragged to the prison 6 times a year. We was made to forgive, to just accept that was how people treated you in life. How does that affect you in adult life when you're taught as a child to accept abuse from adults that are meant to protect you and love you? How's that meant to affect your adult life? Your mental health as an adult, I don't understand how they expect people to survive when they're not speaking up for them, when they're not protecting kids. I'm still hearing stories all the time. I've heard stories today. It's unreal. Kids are still being murdered by family. Should have checked on this child on a Tuesday, but there were no answer, and that child was dead by the Wednesday. What is going on in social services and the police? What's going on? Because it was going on. I'm 40 years old now, mate. It was going on all them years ago and it's still going on to this day. Something needs to change. Something needs to change. I have been asked to write a book since I was 15 years old. I am very dyslexic, so therefore that has never been something that I've ever wanted to do. But now at 40 years old, I sit and I've just had what should be the best year of my whole entire life. But yeah, this year's brought up a lot, mentally and emotionally for me. And you know what? I feel like it's now my time to speak. And yeah, I'm not capable of writing a book, but I am capable of doing a video. I'm capable of letting my voice be heard now because that little girl won't keep quiet anymore. My story will be heard. People will know what we was put through. I'll have family members that aren't related to her, by the way, but on Dad's side, because her family have never bothered with me or my brothers. They've always acted like we don't exist. Due to the embarrassment of the crime that she committed, we was banished with her, which I find very difficult to understand. But yeah, this needs to be known. If I was hit by a bus tomorrow and no one knew what had happened to them children in that house, because for all these years they were forced to be in silence and not let anyone know due to embarrassment of the family that they've still got around, or just due to the worry of speaking out, well, I'm not worried anymore. I'm not going to write a book because I'm not capable, but I'm capable of speaking. And if I can make a difference to someone's life, to a child's life, to an adult's life that maybe is in a traumatic relationship, or I want to be that person to speak out and make people have knowledge and understanding. I want to be able to help foster carers that are going into fostering and they're having children that are having really bad meltdowns on really good days, birthdays, days out, and you think, how can this child be reacting this way because I'm giving them everything? that child doesn't know that that's a good day. It's that they should be accepting, and they're too scared to accept that good day because they don't know whether that's going to be the last one that they might ever have. They don't know that they can trust them adults that they're around at that beginning, because it takes years to form a bond. My foster mum is my best friend in the world, and to be honest with you, I don't think she wants me to do this, but she'll back me, she'll be behind me, she'll support me mentally and emotionally, because she loves me unconditionally, and I'm very, very lucky and very, very blessed. She's the main reason that I'm not a addict, that I'm not a drinker, that I'm still here and I'm functioning, and I'm a very good mum on no mental health medication. I've survived, and my God, has it been hard, and this smile isn't always on my face, believe me, I can't always even speak this strongly. Sometimes I might find it very emotional, but this is coming whether people like it or not, and I'm going to make people aware what happened to them children in that house, and I'm going to make people just very clearly aware how much social services didn't care at the time, or the police. And now me and my brothers have never had justice. And now that the murders were being released from prison, and some already have over the last few years, me and my brothers have no rights to know where these people are, their new names or identities, even though one of them is a parent to us. We've not got any rights, because in that trauma at the time and the murder of the girl, there's now a circle of protection. The girl's family are protected, which they deserve to be protected beyond. And believe me, this time of year is very difficult for everybody who knows about this situation and who's connected to it, because it is just difficult for me and my brothers as well, because it's horrible. And we're going to have to live with this for the rest of our lives. And the only way to heal from it is to speak out. I will never discuss the murder of the girl. I will never, ever want to cause any of her family any trauma. I hope that they are all, if anyone sees this, please don't ever worry that I'm going to bring any names into this. It might be recognised, and people might think, do you know what, I know who this girl is, and I'm going to put it out there. And if that happens and it upsets anyone, I really do apologise. But I really pray that people understand that this needs to be done, because I can't keep my mouth shut for the rest of my life. I deserve to heal. I deserve to move forward from this trauma. And things need acknowledging. Them children were tortured, abused mentally, emotionally, physically, and you can imagine what else. Them children need acknowledgement so that they can live as adults and think, do you know what, actually, it weren't just some... Basically, if I was causing trauma on an animal now, I'd be known for it. I'd be everywhere. She's attacked this dog. She's caused trauma to this animal. But yet people, adults, are allowed to cause trauma and attack children and treat children in the way that we was treated. But yet no one even knows that happened and that's acceptable. No. So I won't be writing a book, but I will be doing updates on this page, and I will be getting my point out there. And I do want to raise awareness on mental health and child neglect, and the fact that children do deserve to have a voice. And I know people say this all the time, but it ain't happening still to this day. So let's try and help the world get to a point where children do have a voice. And if they don't want to go and see their dad on the weekend because their dad's not nice, or they don't want to go and see their mum on a weekend because their mum's not nice, or their foster care is having to make them visit mum 6 times a year, even though they're telling you, mum abused me, mum attacked me, I'm scared, mum's a monster, or whatever word or terminology they're using, they need to be listened to, not them parental rights, that child. Yeah, I have got friends behind me encouraging this. I have spoke out and I have asked if people think this is the best idea, and I need to do something, because if I don't do something, I'm going to end up in a mental health unit somewhere myself at some stage. So I don't want that to happen. Nobody does. So therefore, I am going to speak out, and I'm not holding it in anymore.